Hi everyone, welcome back to GameMaker Cast. It's Mickey, and in this video, we're going to be continuing the idle clicker series. In the previous video, we did a quick overview of the project, and if you're looking to download the starter project, you can find the links in the description below. Now, in this video, as we go through things, there might be some overlap with the previous videos, so just keep that in mind. For this video here, we're going to be adding the actual clicking to the coin and gathering points so we can spend them. We are going to be using some of the systems that I've built into the game, such as the signal bus. Instead of just doing direct code, we're going to be using this library to help us maintain our objects. I hope that you're going to see how these systems can be powerful, especially when being able to run the same code on multiple objects without having to worry about dependencies. However, with that small introduction out of the way, let's get right into the code. Since we're going to have the player click on the coin, we want to open up the object coin. Now here, we're going to add the clicking portion of the code to happen on the left release. So make sure that you add the event to the object. The reason that we're going to be using left release is because I want to have the player physically click their button and then release the button in order to obtain any money in this game. So in reality, the faster that you can click your mouse will be the faster that you can collect the money. Now, within this event, we could access our global variable and add our money that way. However, because I also want to add money using an auto clicker, I'm going to be leveraging our signal bus for this. We can do this by accessing our global variable followed by the signal bus variable. We have now access to emit an event which other objects will listen for and run whatever code that we have given. Inside the emit function, we need to pass in two arguments. The first argument is going to be the event that we want to emit. This can be anything from a string or a number. However, I like using enumerators. I created an enumerator already for this, so we're going to be using that one. The other reason why I like to use the enumerator is because we can easily see all of the different events that we have within our game. This makes it a lot easier to manage. So after we add the event that we want to emit, we need to pass in the data. In this case, we're just clicking on the coin and we're not actually sending any data, so we can get away with just sending an empty struct. This is good practice because it's going to allow us to easily expand our game if we so choose down the road. The next thing we need to decide is what object is going to listen for this event. We could create a single manager to listen for it, or we could actually use the very same object. To keep things simple, we're going to actually use the coin object to listen for this event. That means anytime that any of our objects emit the signal, our coin object is going to pick this up. So to make this happen, let's add a new event, and in this time we want to add a create event. Inside our create event, we'll access the global variable, followed by our signal bus, and now we can access the listen function. This listen function takes three parameters. The first parameter is going to be the event that we're going to listen for. Again, we're going to use our enumerator and pass in the event this way. Our second function is the anonymous call that we want to run, or anonymous function. So we need to make sure that we have a data as a parameter. The final parameter that we need is going to be just the ID of the object itself. This is just used for cleanup purposes in case we ever destroy our object. GameMaker is automatically going to handle the cleanup for us. Now back into the anonymous function, all we need to do is simply access our global variables. We're going to access the currency value, and we're going to take it and add on our click value multiplied by the income multiplier. Now you might be asking yourself, where are all these variables coming from? If you didn't watch the overview, all of these variables can be found in our game initialization object. I like to have one object like this, and this is where I'm going to initialize all of my global variables that I'm going to use throughout my game. Now that we have the event for clicking, and we also have the signal bus set up, let's work on modifying our user interface object in order to show the correct display. Let's open up the UI currency object, and then we want to drill down into the draw event. In this event, you can see that we're referencing a variable called total amount, And we just really haven't done anything with that actual variable right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap it out for our global.currency value. Now we should be able to go ahead and run our game. Let's try clicking on the coin, and even though we don't have any user feedback, you should see the money value at the top being pushed up. Every time that you click, you're emitting an event. The event is being listened for, and then it's being picked up, and we are increasing our money value. That is going to be the basics of our game, especially when it comes for the auto clickers as well. We have the basics going into the next video, and in the next one, we're going to be adding our auto clickers, which means that we're going to be getting into some of the shop, and then we will start adding some juice into the game to show that we're actually clicking on those coins. So with that, thank you for watching. And I know the video was short, but once we finish the game, you'll see that creating a game like this isn't necessarily meaning that you have a lot of different systems and a lot of different code. With good planning and good libraries, you're going to be able to create a game fairly quickly. You're going to be able to use some of these to improve your productivity and make your code run more efficiently. So once again, thanks for watching. At this time, I'd like to thank the following Patreon supporters in no particular order: Thomas, Sapikai, Sean, Mika, Midnight, Matthew, GameMaker Community, JujuB84, Victor, Review the Future, and Clay. Once again, thank you all for supporting me, and thanks for watching the video.